on. So we know that CNCF, we know what to do. We know our code of conduct. We need to be respectful of one another and all of that information that we already know. So it's good to see you, everybody. Hi, and we've got Milad and we've got Anastasia.
Hello.
And Jay, hi. Yeah, so no new faces, I don't think, is what I'm going through figuring out. I think we know everyone. All right, so do you want to talk about Deaf Awareness Month and starting yours, Sandeep? Do you want to have the floor? You want to take it over?
I just wanted to share that do we want to have any posts that are targeted towards the Deaf Awareness Month about employment? Because this is specifically this month is basically about employment for the deaf community. So if you want to share some posts related to that.
I didn't understand what you wanted to share because we're talking about employment. Oh, is that now?
Correct.
Oh,
The Deaf Employment Awareness
I think
Month.
there are, a lot of deaf people posting about their employment and what they're doing, and just to bring awareness to what positions are out there, and then allies can see as well, and then people will be aware of what deaf people are doing during Deaf Awareness Month for employment.
I think the answer should be yes.
Yeah.
This is Milad. I've never really heard of Deaf Employment Awareness Month. Is that this month of October?
Yeah, it's new to me too, Destiny's saying.
Huh. I know that September is a Deaf Awareness Month, but Deaf Employment Awareness Month, I have not heard of that.
Travis is saying, oh, go ahead.
So yeah, I know that Deaf Employment Awareness Month. Well, actually, I think this month is Disability Employment Awareness Month, not specifically deaf. Rebecca, are you up to date with that information?
Yeah, and I think this month is Disability Employment Month, not deaf awareness or just deaf. It's disability in general.
And Jay is agreeing. Yeah. This is Milad. Yeah, so for this particular month, there's presentations planned, I know, in other places, but for me, I feel like that's a lot of work to kind of get everything in place for this month. Now, if anybody else has any time to take that over, maybe make a post on our behalf, then I would support that.
Yeah, I think it's easy if we, oops, sorry, go ahead, Rebecca.
This is Rebecca. Maybe we could set up a calendar for next year and then plan an event, because then we'll have more time and it's not already happening. I don't know, just a thought. I agree that you all have full plates right now and probably can't take this on.
True, Destiny says.
Yeah, KubeCon is coming up, so.
Yeah, and Destiny saying, yeah, let's move on with the agenda. Sandeep, you're not really finished. Let me allow you to finish what you were saying. Yeah, you were going to talk about the last meeting before KubeCon and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so this is basically going to be our last meeting before we all get a chance to meet in KubeCon. Okay, and then I think the best practices for meetings without interpreters. I have added some comments, but I think we need to finalize. Maybe I'm not sure if this is the right time for us to actually work on it, or we work on it after KubeCon.
Yeah, what do we need to finalize?
So like Catherine had a draft, and then a couple of us are supposed to add our comments and notes on it. So I've added a few notes, but I think others also need to add their notes.
Yeah. I also had a question for you in the doc, Sandeep, because I think like calling it a meetings without interpreters seems very much like deaf always need interpreters, deaf people always. So I think like changing the name because it's like captions based, because it's like also like for people who are just who are oral, right? And as well. And then so I did like all your edit like additions. And I think we're in a very good state for the virtual meetings. The in-person ones, Anastasia added a bunch of things in there, and then the apps, someone started with the apps, and they're just like it's great to have the link, but we need to add some context, right? Like this is an app for this, and it's good like this. Like so this is supposed to be a best practices doc that guides people. So we should add some comments about this, like, you know, what is the app good for? When should you use it? Is it free? You know, things like that. So people know what to do with it versus just adding a link. So that definitely needs to be created. And I don't think it's a long section. It's probably a short section, but we need to provide context, not just the link, right? And yeah, and then the in-person meetings. I do agree that especially those who have talks are probably going to be very busy. So as much as I would love for this to be finalized, we shouldn't be distracting from KubeCon talks. So maybe let's postpone. If you're not going to KubeCon, maybe you can tackle this, right? Like people who are not going can certainly, I think, help us move this forward.
Yes, Milad.
This is Milad. Maybe this is a little bit of a slightly different topic, but in the near future with the CFP for London that's happening, that particular conference, KubeCon, feels like we're getting pretty close to the wire here. Does anybody have any ideas, any plans about London, any ideas of what to do? Maybe this topic could be discussed later on in the meeting, or maybe we could talk about it now. I'm not sure.
Well, actually, you're right, because I keep it's just so tiring for me that you have to think about the next KubeCon if you have not even finished your talks. And I don't know why they keep doing this. It's torture. It's torture. It's terrible. So the CFP closes the week after KubeCon. So if we want to submit talks, which we should, and so thank you for bringing it up, we have to do this ideally before KubeCon, because after KubeCon, it's just that 1 week that we could use for reviews. So I think we should, again, submit 2 panels. They're only going to submit 1, but we have to come with a new topic, which is a little bit hard sometimes because we're always talking about accessibility and for deaf and hard of hearing. So we need to find a new angle. And as you know, the panels are super important because that's how we get people who didn't get talks accepted. That's how we can, you know, help people actually also get in, because it's really hard. And then we need to do like regular talks as well, right? Like technical talks. So yeah, I think probably subconsciously forgot about this because it's just so overwhelming. But that is something we have to actually tackle as soon as possible on Slack, because we don't have another meeting before that.
Yeah, that is why I included it in my agenda. And I do understand that it's a torture. I think for me it's a triple torture because I have the KubeCon India as well. I'm just playing that because the KubeCon NA, KubeCon India, and now it's KubeCon EU.
Yeah. It's terrible.
It's like you hardly get any breathing space. It's by the time you just breathe in, it's again starts the same cycle starts.
Yeah. So I don't think any action like we need to take in this meeting, except for let's start thinking about potential talks and let's pay attention to Slack. And we need to start thinking. Again, I would say 2 panel ideas and then technical talks. And I'm very sorry. I know this is painful.
This is Milad. What I think is important is, London is a wonderful place to have this conference. Plus, Anastasia will be there. She lives right in the same country. So we have to take advantage of this opportunity and, make it happen in London. So,
I agree.
Asha, did you have any ideas that you'd like to add?
Yeah, Anastasia's saying, I don't think we need to London KubeCon because we have a lot of busy work with this KubeCon for Salt Lake. So I can't even think about both at the same time, to be honest. So I will try to get something for Salt Lake done. And then we've only got, a whole week before we go. And we'll just try our best, I guess.
And Rebecca has her hand raised.
Cindy, what did you mean by 9?
9 days. 9 days. 24th November is the deadline. 24th November.
Rebecca?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you all could explain more about the panels and what that looks like at these conferences.
I can take that. So, I mean, panel discussions are basically, well, where you have several people with a discussion, right? So instead of a technical, or instead of a talk, you can have a technical panel discussion as well, right? Most talks are done by 1 or 2 speakers with slides about a certain topic, and then you can have a panel discussion where you have up to 5 people. 1 person moderates and the other 4 are panelists, and then they talk about something. And then specifically for accessibility, I think it's interesting to make it more a discussion, because like everyone gets to share their experiences, because it's a lot about it is, or very important, are like personal stories, right? Like, why is this important? What were your experiences? Because people know accessibility is important. They just may not understand what it means to individual lives. So I feel like a panel format is really good, is ideal for that. And we get to add more people, right? Because when you have like 1 talk, it's 1 person or maybe 2. We squeeze 2 people in all our technical talks. So we always have 2 people. And a panel has 5. So it's good for that as well, that we get more people to participate.
So Salt Lake is coming soon. And we have, do we have people leading panels there as well? There, you will have a deaf leader for a panel for that?
This is Milad. Of course, yes.
Yes, everyone's saying yes. Yeah, and so do we need ideas for that panel?
No, that
Yes.
is already set. So the panel, so Salt Lake City, the program is already done. So, but we need a new.
But London, Milad's saying
yes,
London,
London.
we'll need ideas. Yes. Thank you.
And I will share the link so you can have a look at the abstract. Maybe you have ideas about new topics, because it's a little difficult, because the first time it's like easy, like we've never done this before, and then we do another one, it's like, okay, this time we were more talking about KubeCon and how KubeCon improved, and then it's like, how do you reinvent this thing so it's not the same story over and over again? That's a little challenging because we were always talking about accessibility for deaf and hard of hearing. At some point, we will have covered everything. So we need to be a little bit creative on how we frame ideas and change the topics so it's not the same.
Yes, Milad's saying, hey, also, oh yeah, Rebecca's saying, oh, you froze. Can you say it again? What I've noticed is really popular is the Slack channel. So we can definitely discuss that there, and AI for deaf people might be a popular topic that we could discuss. You know, if you'd like to have new creative posts for that, that would be something that might be, you know, like the pros and cons of AI for deaf people. That might be something to consider because the audience might be really interested in how AI applies to your community. So, you know, maybe pros and cons, you know, how it makes things accessible or not, what it does. That's just one thought I had.
I
Rob
love
saying,
it.
yes,
Oh,
idea. Rob said he likes the idea.
go ahead, Milad.
Yeah, I was, you know, I was trying to be careful not to talk over anybody, but anyway, so, yeah, I really want to take the opportunity to tell an interesting story because in Paris, when I was doing a talk about accessibility, and I was telling a real life story. You all remember that story, right? About the lightning talk that I gave on accessibility, and I've done some posts on it, and 3 times I've reused that story and that talk, but from different angles. And I've added different things, I've changed it up, but I've used the same basic story. And the topic is like 2 worlds in the deaf and hearing world, and the technology, and how deaf and hearing people each have a different approach to the technology and so forth. And so I keep coming back to that same story, but I'm very grateful for Paris, that opportunity to do that, because it has allowed me to have a lot of opportunities, and it's made it real easy for me to change that story to match certain situations and new environments. And it applies here as well, because my experience has been, you know, like I said, being able to change the perspective on that talk, and I didn't have to reinvent the wheel on that presentation. I just took what I already had, tweaked it a little bit, and applied it to the new situation. So that's something we can also consider. Sandeep saying yes, big thumbs up.
This is
Rob,
Rob.
Catherine, one question.
Also, I've reused talks also for various different purposes. I've, you know, reused the same topic and edited it a little bit. People that are often in the audience will be at the same talk, but they are able to hear the same message without getting bored. So I think that's really important to be able to do that. Yeah, you can keep the same content, but edit the details and then create a different talk based on the setting. And you can use that for a 1 or 2 year period.
yeah, I don't want people to get bored for sure. And London, maybe I'll tweak it some more, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's something to work on for London, and how we tweak our message just a little bit to make it fresh.
Great.
Catherine, do we have a keynote panel this time?
A what? No, a keynote panel.
Keynote panel.
No,
No?
I tried
Or
again.
maybe
Yeah, everyone wants to be on the keynote. It's I pitched an idea, but it's like, yeah, I mean, everyone wants, they get a lot of pressure. So I didn't have like
Yeah,
totally new
it was a
ideas.
beautiful panel. Yeah. I'm sitting there drinking my soda while y'all were up on stage doing your panel discussions. So when Anastasia was presenting there, yeah, it was great. I'm just playing. Yeah. So Sandeep, did you have one more thing to move on in our agenda? Did you have another topic to discuss?
Yeah, so I think the best practices we can postpone and the KubeCon, I think the last that we already talked. And then I think this maybe I think Rob could take it offline because Chen was working on the Vietnam Sign Language and he wanted to make use of artificial intelligence. So I think this is something that maybe Chen can take up with Rob offline.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. All right, the next thing we can talk about is the language glossary. So would you like to take over, Travis?
Yeah, this is Travis. So basically, last week on Thursday, some of us members who are here volunteered to help attend a meeting so that we could create 3 different signs for 3 different glossary terms. And yeah, really grateful to everyone. We were able to give that to CNCF for those 3 words. Really amazing. I was blown away by your participation in the way that you were able to help create those signs. So thank you. I'm thinking about canceling the next November meeting because obviously we're already overwhelmed with a lot of things that are going on. So I'm thinking about maybe holding off and then continuing our meeting in December. We could talk more about it during KubeCon week because I know many of us are going to be a part of that and doing that, talk more about the glossary work during that week. But that's all from me.
Destiny said, I would like to add one more thing. We need volunteers on that project. So just if you want to be involved in that ASL glossary, please let us know. All right, next topic. Catherine, oh, I'm sorry. Sandeep, did you want to talk about adding, what did you want to talk about, Sandeep? Was there one more thing you wanted to discuss? The 2 of us going, yeah, the 12 of us that are going to KubeCon. Sandeep had added to the list saying there were 12 of us at KubeCon. And is that the correct number? I think that's great. That's amazing.
Is it
Okay,
really 12? That's a lot.
Catherine, did you
I was
have
just
the
wondering,
next
are we
item?
12? Oh yeah. So yeah, Sandeep added a few points underneath with questions. So I have updates on that. So well, we have a kiosk, as you know. So the goal is basically creating awareness about the need for accessibility and put a face on, I always call it the abstract concept of accessibility, because a lot of people, for them, they've never met someone with accessibility needs. So they know the concept, but it's not a human. They haven't been able to connect it to a human. So I think that's like making those human connections is really important, right? So awareness and yet putting a face to the abstract concept of accessibility. Those are our goals. And so one thing that I need to create is create a schedule. So we have the booth in the mornings. It's a little bit more in the mornings because sometimes it goes like until some hours in the afternoon because the day is very long. So it's basically the whole day in half. And we will have to man it during that time. So we'll need 2 people at any time because we don't want anyone to be alone there. So everyone will have to take a shift or 2. We'll see how many we are. So I'll create that, sign up for it. If there are any talks that you make sure you don't sign up when you have a talk or when you want to watch a talk, because we do need you there. And then as giveaways, we're gonna have ally stickers, our little mascot. And we'll have a monitor with the slide. I put it, I linked to it in the agenda. So have a look if we want to change anything. We could do that. We will need a laptop. Probably we could use mine, but like if people are having their laptops as well, would be good just in case. I don't know if I need mine or something because we need to connect it to a laptop. Milad, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. At Paris, KubeCon, we had experience with the kiosk, and it was a little bit challenging because people would come up and they'd be like, well, how do we join? How do we get involved? And so people were pretty excited, and we'd show them the link on the laptop, but they were trying to get it on their phone, and it wasn't fast, it wasn't working well. So the QR code that we had, I think that would be easier to have that than what we had in the past, rather. And I don't know if we have any options for easy access so that people weren't overwhelmed with trying to write something down and keep that.
Do you want
Oh,
to?
yes, I was going to say the same, that we had a QR code in the slide so that people can very easily join the CNCF Slack. And the second thing is that we can reuse the Excel that you had created last time, Catherine. So this time we have a more number of folks. So basically, we'll have more time to attend the talks that we want. Because last time there were very few people, now we have many more people.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, this is Travis. So Malad, you brought up a good point of having people trying to join. And I just being honest here, I've never been to KubeCon before, but do you actually have deaf people that are attending KubeCon that don't know about us? And then I'm wondering
Yes,
what
Destiny says yes.
what's the average of deaf attendees at conferences?
In Chicago, we met how many people, Jay? Jay's saying at least one or two people. Oh, we met them, Destiny's saying, but like they didn't know anything about our group. And really, and they were shocked by the interpreters. So it was funny because, we had other interpreters they saw talking, and it was just us, and they thought it was just, they had interpreters assigned to them, but they didn't realize there was a whole big deaf group. And then they found us. So it was deaf people who had no idea about our working group. Yeah, like people were shocked. So Milad, in Paris, did you meet any deaf people there who didn't know about our working group?
This is Malad. You mean in Paris? It was a little different. There was interpreters present, French sign language interpreters, and they, were there. They were able to converse, but I don't think any new deaf people. I think I saw one maybe new deaf person that came over. They looked at me. They saw that I had a cochlear implant, and excuse the interpreter. They had a baby that was deaf and that had a cochlear implant, and they wanted to know about my experience. I think they were from Germany visiting the conference, but I gave them my contact information, haven't really heard from them. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's how Sandeep found us. If you don't remember, he didn't know about us.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, and were we presenting, or we were just sitting down and he just sat down and started talking with me, and I'm like, oh yeah, we have a working group, and I gave him all the information. Here's Sandeep. So it happens all the time, and now he's here.
This is Malad. I have a question for you, Catherine. It seems like name sign, what?
I don't know.
Reba?
I still don't know who. Rebecca. Sorry.
Yeah, so Rebecca's joined the work group here. She's a little bit late, so I don't know if she's able to make the conference in Salt Lake City. Are you able to attend, Rebecca, or no?
Sorry, no, I can't go.
All right, well, yeah. maybe hopefully London, you would be able to join us, Rebecca?
Yeah, please email me the information about when London is. I'm not sure when that conference is taking place. April, I think. I'm not saying. I think April. Mhm.
Rebecca says I'll keep it in mind then. We'll see. But I can definitely support from where I am. Support you all in Salt Lake City from afar.
Thank you, Rob, saying thanks. Appreciate that. And on LinkedIn, you can an X and all of the social media platforms. So yes, you can absolutely forward our stuff and share, and thank you. We appreciate that. But we had an email about doing talks and the media, using the media kit for talks at Salt Lake. And don't forget, we have that too. Okay, next, I think it's Catherine. You want to take the floor, your part?
Yeah, so
And
the other
what-
thing is, oops.
Oh. Yeah, oh yeah, the GitHub, I'm sorry.
DEI Hub.
Oh, thank you, DEI Hub. Yeah, Catherine, you were going to talk about the DEI Hub for the conference.
Yeah, so the CNCF is doing a DEI Community Hub, is actually the full name. You may have seen the post in the KubeCon channel. And so we will have, well, if you remember our open space discussion and the crash course, the sign language crash course. So this will be part of the DEI Hub. It's in a specific room. And it will be one after the other. So I think it's kind of a little bit of a shame. I wish it would be spread out so different people see it. So we'll see, but they feel like it's better to do it one after the other. But maybe they're right, But yeah, so we're gonna have on Thursday first the discussion, and right after the crash course. And hopefully, because it's part of this bigger thing, people are going to be more aware and actually put this on their schedule and come versus last time. I don't know if you remember, but I was really pulling people from the show floor. It's like telling them, hey, this is going on. No one knew, even though it was also in the program, but there's just so much going on. So hopefully this will have a lot more awareness, because as you remember, people who actually did attend were very engaged and they loved it. So I think it is a good thing. So yeah, I put it in there, Salt Lake City, like the convention center, level 2 room, whatever, Thursday 4 to 5, and then the discussion, and then 5 to 6, the crash course. So that's a new thing. Let's see what it happens. They're gonna have a BIPOC session. They're gonna have like an LGBTQ one. So it's gonna be like different themes, and then there's going to be the deaf and hard of hearing one as well. Yeah, so I think that's what we have. Oh, and then of course we do have an interview with the Cube. So Destiny and Rob did one, Milad and Anastasia did one. So we'll see who does the next one. They are very, very supportive. Savannah, like the reporter, like the moderator interviewer, she loves this group and is very supportive. I wish more media were like that, but they are like, we're always going to talk to you. So she's just awesome, and the whole team is awesome. So so we'll definitely do that as well. So we have to schedule that. And yeah, that's all I have for this KubeCon. We need to kind of create the schedule and so on, and think about London, which is very tiring, but we'll have to do it.
I think Thursday is going to be an incredibly busy day, because at 3:25 to 4 is the talk. Then 4 to 5 p.m. is we have the DI hub meeting, and then 5 to 6 p.m. is the sign language crash course. It's totally booked.
Yeah, as you know, KubeCon is
Yeah.
work. It's fun, but it's a lot of work.
but I actually have a question like, okay, so basically the idea behind the DEI hub is that it will be listed on the schedule so that basically people can sign up and be present in the room. Correct?
Mhm. Yes, it was also on the schedule before, but it was in the exhibit hall. And the idea is that they will promote the DEI community hub as such. So it's not just this one thing here like we had before, and which is easy to miss. So hopefully it will. Again, it's new. It's hard to get people's attention with so much going on and so many topics going on. And also, I think a lot of people are interested in these topics, but we're also competing with very hot talks about AI and whatever. And that's always very difficult because you're like, oh, here's a talk about the newest trend in AI or like this DI conversation. And it's like sometimes it's like people are actually going there for the tech discussion. So it is tough because we're basically making people choose. Which is why I wish they would do this in between sessions so it's not necessarily competing with technical talks, but
Yes, yes, I think I agree with what you are saying, Catherine. Uh, I also initially also wanted it to be like the open space discussion we had last time in the exhibit hall. But I think you see, the KubeCon North America is going to be much bigger than the Europe or the Paris one. And so it is very hard for people to find where we are located in a small corner. So I think having a dedicated room is maybe basically much better actually, because people can know that we are going to be there and they will be easily able to find us, I think.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna suggest like maybe the social media team can also do like a few social media posts just before it starts, kind of saying starting now, kind of supporting these initiatives more than because they don't do that for the individual talks, but since this is something a little different at CNCF kind of driven content, so maybe they could do that and then people just see it on Twitter, oh, this talk is about to start, so maybe that helps. But you've seen how big it is. It is very difficult to get people's attention. So that's always the challenge.
Okay. Any questions or feedback or other thoughts on that Destiny's saying?
I have an idea. What about we make a video, like a quick little vlog talking about what's going to be happening, what we're going to be talking about in Salt Lake City, and
Yes.
a promo video that we edit and make, attractive but short, and we can post on social media. What are your thoughts? We can talk about that. I know you have a lot of work already happening.
Milad, you mentioned that, and I think it's a great idea. And it would be even greater if we could add captions because our audience are hearing people. Because the deaf people attending are mostly on this call.
Oh,
So I don't know if that's something we could do.
Could do just maybe a 1 minute long video, something really easy. Add
Inviting
caption.
people.
But before we have to kind of write a little script. Yeah.
And then I think if we make the video and it looks nice and it's short, I'm pretty sure the CNCF would post it themselves. So we give them material to promote it. So I think if we make it easy, they support, they don't have this capacity to create all that stuff themselves. But if we create something that looks nice, it's short and kind of promotes this, we make it as if it is a video from them, like it is from them, basically it's from our group, right? I think posting it on their feed will go much farther. Go ahead, Sandeep.
I just wanted to quickly say, maybe we stop the recording because I think Milad also wanted to discuss something. So I think we can stop the recording so that maybe folks can freely talk.
No one can stop the recording because this is a CNCF Zoom and you have to be an administrator.
Is it?
Right.
Then I don't know. We have those shit country back comms. So during the last 5 or 10 minutes, we always stop the recording, and then people have very free flowing conversations.
That's because someone owns the meeting. No one is the administrator. Or I don't see any way to stop this. But I
Oh,
think
so
that can
basically,
share on DM.
when the meeting starts, the recording automatically starts here.
Yes, it does it because otherwise people
Oh,
forget to
wow.
record.
Oh wow, in the other meeting there, people started, the administrator has the right to start, and then the administrator stops it.
Yeah, so
Why
I
don't
could, yeah, all
why
the
don't you do
beginning.
that?
Sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
why don't you do like same? Why don't you give administrator rights to share Destiny, Rob, and you, or a couple of people to start with?
Probably too complicated to manage all the rights and who gets which powers. It's easier to just give people. There are so many CNCF meetings. Every day there are multiple, so I think that's probably an administrative pain to make sure always the right rights are updated. Someone leaves, and then imagine there is it's plausible that a day Destiny, Rob, and I couldn't make it, and who gets to record then? So it's like yeah.
We can always go on to Slack. Somebody suggested we can jump to Slack.
This is Travis. Hey, Catherine, you mentioned that someone needs to volunteer to bring their laptop to the kiosk. Is that what you said?
So I will have mine, and we can probably use mine for the monitor, but it would be good if we have another one in case I need mine, because it's like there is a monitor, and if it's just black, it just looks horrible. And we do want to have project a slide, so it just doesn't depend 100% on me having my laptop there. It would be good.
Yeah, that's, I don't mind bringing my own laptop, but I don't know. It's an expensive laptop. I am concerned about the security in there. I'm not quite sure. I can assume that everyone is going to be looking out for everybody else at KubeCon. Is there security there to make sure that the laptop and the technology is safe?
Well, the laptop, I mean, there should always be two people at the kiosk, right? So two of us should always be there.
Okay, I understand.
And Milad's saying, hey, Catherine, also regarding the laptop, what are we showing? Do we have a slideshow or just one slide?
Yeah, it's linked in the agenda. It's the old one, so I think we're gonna add a QR code, right? That's the change. And if we want any other change, oh, I know what we should
I
do.
would suggest too, yeah.
I know what we should add too. We should add a slide, and we can add that with all the talks that we have, because we have to kind of show how many talks we have. So when people come to the kiosk, we can say like, hey, here
Yes.
are the talks for our team.
Good
So we
idea.
should definitely kind of
Yeah, I mean, I would like to suggest as well, Milad saying about the use of the laptop. Maybe we should print out a nice like board or something that we can display rather than having the laptop up, so that it can just be there and we don't have to depend on the laptop. Maybe just a nice display of some sort that we can print ahead of time, and then it would be easy to just have it there without having people's laptops. It's just a thought. I like that idea, Destiny saying, because then like in Chicago, I remember we had lots of other kiosks that they used QR codes, and I was thinking, oh, I wish we had a big sign that said that, where they could easily access that and get all the information they need there. So having the QR code on badges, and then all the information about the conferences there, that was easy. So having it on some sort of sign or board would be nice. Rob saying yes, and yes, let's get that. And you're getting a lot of spam if you sign up for that with the QR code on some of that stuff.
Milad saying there's a lot of people signing at one time. I'm having a hard time tracking this.
Yeah, the QR code, you get a lot of spam with your email sometimes, but I remember it's not like you're signing up, but it is kind of because the system is, they're all every time you scan one of the QR codes, it comes with different things. So yeah, it's definitely spam, Rob's saying.
This is Travis. I just want to clarify. It's not like I don't want to bring my laptop. I understand the purpose of it. I just don't want to talk and explain about, everything that's happening when people are also watching a video. I just want to keep it really simple. So yeah, I'm just saying, if I had to run to the bathroom and there's only one person at the kiosk, who's watching that laptop? I don't want to have to depend on that one person. So just wanted to clarify my concerns. So thank you. Rob saying we have 9 minutes left. Time check. And 8 minutes.
If we have anything else to add, anyone? Or we can end the meeting and then run over to Slack for the good news.
Thumbs up from Sandeep.
Yep,
This is
Jay
the
says
first-
good. Yes. Okay, so we'll see you all
Oh,
on
one
Slack. Love you. Bye.
One question. So if I were to join the Slack huddle, it will have captions or something. It has captions or no? Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
should have it should have captions.
But there is no interpreter.
There's a gear that you can click and that will show you the caption button. But there's one really not so great piece. The huddle captions, they come up over people's faces. So they do cover the face. So if they're signing, that is one really negative part to the huddle caption feature. Just
Yes,
know
but if you
It's okay. Something is better than nothing.
yes, if we would have interpreters, this is a meeting without interpreters, so it's not so there's nothing to be on the captions. I think
yeah, we'll all
Milad-
voice, somebody will voice for Sandeep.
This is,
Yeah,
I
who?
think,
Oh yeah, let's hurry. Let's go. Hurry up AI, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah, somebody will have to type notes or type for Sandeep. Well, somebody will type. We'll get it there. We'll get the information.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.